my name is Kahnawake, and today's virtual tour will be about the walking path in my home community of Kahnawake. Well, there's 8 kinds of turtles that are found commonly throughout Quebec. There's 2 that are really common to Kahnawake, and that's the Kwakaratón turtle, the painted turtle, and the Ganyahtu at Nowarda, which is the snapping turtle. The painted turtle is about 5 to 7 inches. It's colorful with a dark shell, and it has yellow stripes along the legs and blotches or spots on their heads. This species has a ridged, thick upper shell, the snapping turtle, and it's tan, olive, or black, and with a long studded tail. The bottom shell is small compared to other turtle species, leaving the snapping turtle's limbs and neck exposed. Both turtles can be found in slow-moving, shallow waters, and this provides them with the rocks that they need for basking sites, as well as the vegetation that they eat. To reproduce, they lay eggs, and when the eggs hatch, they look like miniature, tiny versions of the grown turtle. Well, the eggs and hatchlings have many of the same predators, such as garter snakes. The hatchlings are also vulnerable to carnivorous birds, and the adult turtles, pretty much their only predators are dogs and cars. It's very important, since from our creation story, they said a long time ago the whole earth was covered with water, and that a woman fell from the sky. They called it a sky woman, and creatures that were on the earth at that time, they didn't want her to fall and get hurt, so the birds caught her and brought her down, and the great turtle rose up, and he said that he would allow her to live on her back, providing her with a place to be where she wouldn't drown or be harmed. So right from the beginning, it's been incredibly important to us. So you'll notice some of the trees and shrubs that we have in the area. We have the red Ossie dogwood, or Onegwantara niwadatsaroda, whose presence prevents shoreline erosion, and we use as a medicine and to make dyes. It has a red bark and flat white flowers and berries. We have the service berry, which provides shelter for small mammals and birds. It's got these pretty white flowers with skinny petals in the spring, but then it provides berries later. The cedar, or Anantagwantansara, is used to make tea and is exceptionally high in vitamin C and is used for respiratory issues. It is an evergreen with flat, broad leaves, and it smells really good. We also have the wild rose, or Johnuwerundu odziza, the thorny flower. The pollinators love these bright colored flowers. Horse chestnut, or Agosadas audisogua, is also beloved by pollinators, and its leaves provide excellent shade for all forms of life on hot days, which is especially helpful during times of extreme temperatures. It has oblong flower clusters, white with a tint at the base, either red or yellow, and these nice big thick oval leaves. The sugar maple, or wata, is one of my favorites. We boil it down to make maple syrup, but we also use the fresh sap as a body cleanse in the springtime after a winter of hearty, fatty meals.
What does it mean to naturalize something?
Well, we are using it to describe the returning of the areas to their natural state prior to exterior intervention. So nature is able to take its own course through reduced mowing, and it allows the native plants to reestablish themselves and their root systems. And native plant species are also being planted where the invasive species are removed to improve their outcomes. These root systems are vital to the erosion of the shorelines. They also take up nutrients that would otherwise end up in the water, and with an overabundance of nutrients, it allows algae and various aquatic plants to flourish, kind of choking out the area. The plants and trees hanging over the water offer shade and woody debris for the different species living along there. The different aquatic species include frogs, or otsquarhe, and the snapping turtle, as we mentioned before, Ganyahtu. And it's also for the mammals, such as adirdu, and birds like the woodpecker or garundagarox. Degaguita Island was created. It was originally 5 single islands, but the material that they used to dredge up the seaway so that the boats could pass through the heartland, they used that material, they deposited it over and around the 5 separate islands to make one big giant island. So there was an area called Johnson's Beach, and it was really, really nice and sandy. It had nice clear water. People used to go swimming a lot. Currently, campfires, boating, and fishing are still very popular, but it's becoming more difficult with the changes in the bay, like I mentioned before, the weeds and stuff that are clogging it up.
What happened to our environment when this was created?
It completely changed. The water flow in the area was drastically reduced, allowing all of those plants to be able to take hold and, like I said, take up all the nutrients away from everything else. The water flow reduced, so even fish have a harder time reproducing in there. The invasive aquatic plants, such as the European milfoil, has also taken over a significant portion of the bay. Well, there are plans to dredge out the shallowest areas right now and to remove excess plants regularly so that they don't have a chance to accumulate as much, and to improve the water flow with the dredging.